at the night sky right now. Billions of stars, trillions of planets, and you're thinking the same thing every human has thought for thousands of years. Where is everybody? But what if I told you that the question isn't where is everybody? The question is why are we the only ones left? I'm Leonard Susskind. I've spent 50 years thinking about the universe. I have a conclusion that will disturb you. We are not the first intelligent species in the galaxy. We are the last ones, the final survivors of something so catastrophic, so universal, that it has swept away every other civilization that ever existed. And the evidence is hiding in plain sight. In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi asked a simple question over lunch. If the universe is so vast, if there are so many stars, so many planets, where is everybody? This became known as the Fermi paradox. And for 70 years, we've been trying to solve it with optimistic answers. Maybe aliens are hiding. Maybe they're too far away. Maybe they haven't developed radio yet. But there's a darker solution, one that most scientists don't want to talk about. What if they're not hiding? What if they're not far away? What if they're simply gone? All of them. Extinct. Wiped out by something so fundamental, so inescapable that every intelligent species in the galaxy has faced it and failed. Let me show you why we might be the last one standing. The galaxy is 13 billion years old. Our sun formed only 4.5 billion years ago. That means there were 8.5 billion years for other civilizations to arise before us. 8.5 billion years. If intelligent life were common, if it arose easily, the galaxy should be ancient with civilizations. Some of them millions of years more advanced than us. Think about what humanity accomplished in just the last 100 years. Flight, computers, nuclear energy, space travel. Now imagine a civilization with a million-year head start. They should have technology that looks like magic to us. They should have colonized their entire galaxy by now. They should be visible from every corner of the universe. But they're not. The sky is silent. No radio signals. No megastructures. No evidence of galaxy-spanning engineering projects. Nothing. The universe appears completely sterile except for one tiny blue planet in an unremarkable solar system, us. Now, you might say, Leonard, maybe life is just rare. Maybe the conditions for intelligence are so specific that it only happens once every few billion years. And that's what I used to think. But the mathematics don't support it. Even if intelligent life were incredibly rare, even if it only arose on one planet in a billion, there should still be thousands of civilizations in our galaxy alone. Unless something is killing them, all of them. I call it the Great Filter. It's a barrier somewhere between the formation of a planet and the development of a galaxy, spanning civilization. A barrier that's so difficult, so lethal, that virtually nothing gets past it. The question is, where is this filter? Is it behind us or ahead of us? If the filter is behind us, if the hard step is going from non-life to life, or from simple life to complex life, then we've already passed through the most dangerous part. We're past the Great Filter, and our future might be secure. But if the filter is ahead of us, if the hard step is surviving long enough to become a galactic civilization, then we're in trouble. Because it means every other species that reached our level of development was destroyed by something they couldn't overcome. And here's what terrifies me. We have no evidence of any civilization that made it past the filter. The sky is silent. No one has colonized the galaxy. No one has left traces we can detect. This suggests that either the filter is behind us, meaning intelligent life is impossibly rare, or the filter is ahead of us, meaning we're doomed. Let me walk you through what this filter might be. So universal, so inescapable that it destroys every technological civilization. Nuclear war, every species that develops nuclear technology faces the same choice. Use it wisely or destroy themselves. The physics is the same everywhere. Split enough atoms and you can sterilize a planet. Every civilization goes through a period where they're smart enough to build nuclear weapons but not wise enough to avoid using them. Climate collapse. Intelligence requires energy. Energy produces waste heat. Change the atmospheric composition too quickly, and you trigger runaway greenhouse effects that make planets uninhabitable. Maybe every industrial civilization poisons its own atmosphere before developing sustainable technology, artificial intelligence. Every sufficiently advanced civilization will develop AI. Something smarter than yourself, you lose control. Maybe every species builds its own replacement and then gets discarded. Cosmic disasters. Supernovas, gamma ray bursts, asteroid impacts. Space is dangerous. Maybe the galaxy goes through periodic sterilization, events that wipe out any life complex enough to notice. But here's the most disturbing possibility. Maybe the filter isn't a single event. Maybe it's built into the nature of intelligence itself. Maybe consciousness, the ability to understand the universe, comes with a built-in self-destruction mechanism. Think about it. Intelligence allows you to manipulate your environment. But it also allows you to understand your own mortality, your own cosmic insignificance. Maybe every species smart enough to reach the stars is also smart enough to realize that existence is ultimately meaningless. And maybe that realization is too much to bear. We see hints of this in our own species. Depression, nihilism, the search for meaning in a universe that appears to have none. What happens when an entire civilization becomes clinically depressed? When they lose the will to explore, to reproduce, to continue? Maybe intelligence is evolution's cruel joke. You become smart enough to understand the universe only to discover that understanding brings no peace, no purpose, no hope. And so you stop, you give up, you fade away. Or maybe the filter is even simpler. Maybe it's loneliness. Imagine developing technology, reaching for the stars, sending signals into the void, and hearing nothing back. Imagine realizing that you're alone in an empty universe. That realization might be enough to break any species' spirit. Maybe every civilization reaches a point where they understand they're alone, and the knowledge destroys them. But here's what makes our situation different. We're not alone in the traditional sense. We have evidence that others existed. The galaxy shows signs of having been fertile for life. The chemistry is right. The time scales are right. The numbers suggest that intelligence should have arisen millions of times. So where did they all go? I think they're still here. Not physically, but in the structure of the galaxy itself. Every dead civilization leaves traces. Isotope ratios that shouldn't exist naturally. Orbital mechanics disturbed by massive engineering projects. Faint radio echoes from long, dead transmitters. When we look at the galaxy through the right instruments, with the right knowledge, we might be seeing a graveyard. The remains of countless civilizations that rose and fell before we were even a possibility. We might be the scavengers picking through the ruins of a galaxy that was once alive with intelligence. And that makes us the last ones. Not the first, as we like to imagine. Not the chosen ones, special and unique. We're the final survivors, the last species standing after whatever catastrophe swept through the galaxy and claimed every other form of intelligent life. This isn't speculation. The evidence is there if you know how to look for it. The silence itself is evidence. In a galaxy that should be full of voices, we hear nothing. That silence has meaning. It's telling us something profound about the nature of intelligence, the nature of survival, and our own future. Because if we're the last ones, that means we're also the only ones who can learn from whatever destroyed the others. We're the only species with a chance to break the cycle, to survive whatever filter lies ahead of us. But it also means we carry an enormous responsibility. We're not just trying to survive as a species. We're trying to preserve the only remaining intelligence in the galaxy. If we fail, if we succumb to the same filter that claimed every other civilization, then the galaxy goes dark permanently. For billions of years, stars will continue to shine, planets will continue to orbit, but there will be no one left to observe them, no one left to understand them, no one left to ask questions about the universe. The cosmos will continue its expansion into cold, empty infinity with no witnesses. That's why the stakes are so high. That's why every choice we make matters. We're not just deciding the fate of humanity. We're deciding whether intelligence itself survives in this corner of the universe. The filter that destroyed the others is still out there. It might be nuclear war. It might be climate collapse. It might be AI. It might be something we haven't even imagined yet. But whatever it is, it's coming. The silence of the galaxy tells us that much. The question is, smart enough to recognize it? Will we be strong enough to survive it? Will we be the first intelligent species to break through the great filter and claim our place as a galactic civilization? Or will we join the silence, adding our own quiet grave to the cosmic cemetery that surrounds us? I don't know the answer. Nobody does. But I know this, we are the last ones, the final representatives of intelligence in a galaxy full of ghosts. What we do next will determine whether that intelligence dies with us, or whether it finally, after billions of years of failure, finds a way to survive. The universe is watching, the silence is listening. And for the first time in galactic history, intelligence has a chance to answer back. Don't waste it.